right from reaching Madame Tussauds in London to the Grevin Museum in Paris, to getting all these doctorate degrees from the global universities, we know it all. Commanding the film world, reaching the cricket field, and just making a kill. I heard him in the TED Talk. I was totally floored. I asked him, Shahrukh, did you write the speech? And amazingly, I got to know he was such a voracious reader and an excellent writer. His beautiful talks, witty conversations across the globe. I think, especially with David Letterman, it's so amusing. He's a philanthropist and believes in enriching others. Mir Foundation, he founded in October 2013, in memory of his beloved father, Mir Taj Muhammad Khan. He believes in empowering women. In fact, he has supported so beautifully women victims of acid attacks, right from the treatment to legal aids to vocational training to all the rehabilitation. This is my favorite, family man and more. He was voted as one of the 10 sexiest men in Asia and the Asian hero by Time magazine. In fact, I have known him since he got married to his childhood sweetheart, Gauri. Absolutely a grounded, wonderful person, right from then till now. Those days, the stars were keeping their wives behind the curtains. And here it was Shahrukh who would, take Gauri to and fro from Shamik Dawar dance classes. Aryan was born. He was shooting for Dil Se in Chandni Chowk. And after the overnight shoot, and there I see him giving burps to Aryan on his right shoulder. I can never forget that. It was so soul-touching. And then came Suhana. Such a blessing. And here Shahrukh was playing with Aryan and talking to him as a little baby, because he did not want, as an excellent father, that he should ever have any kind of a sibling rivalry. Spending all his time with Abraham, beautiful, delightful Abraham, having a patient and a very keen ear for each child. He leaves his shooting and he'll make it a point to attend parent-teachers meeting from wherever he is. It is something which is commendable. He's so, something very appreciable about him is that he is so good to the family and friends. This is something which is, something I want to, something which is so close to me, and something which I want to share with you all, that his courtesies and respect towards family and all. And mind you, I've had so many, so many situations that I've seen him being so courteous to people around him are really appreciable. I want to share one little thought, incidents that I would like you all to know. That I was attending with Savita, that is Gauri's mom. I was attending Jab Tak Hai Jaan's premiere. And it was, all the bigwigs from the fraternity were there. 1, 2, all were there. They were, despite bigwigs and dancing going on in the party, he left the party and came down to see us off to the car. And he opened the door, which was so magnanimous of him. He's really a wonderful soul. I am so grateful to you, Shahrukh, that despite an extremely busy schedule, shooting overnight, I know you have been shooting till 5 a.m. in the morning, you have joined us for our IAG North Zone conference. We are all so very touched. IAGE is the second largest gynec endoscopic society in the world. The motto has been to make this skill available across the country by training the doctors. And Dr. Krishna Kumar, who is the president and at the helm of the affairs, has worked absolutely untiringly for that. IG is now recognized the world over for excellent work. And our work is that we remove the tumors, the ovarian cysts, the masses, all the gynec problems are being solved in a minimal access way, wherein even if it's an 8 hour surgery, the next day the patient is absolutely up and about. So this is something which is being recognized the world over, and Delhi, India itself is a huge center wherein we have stalwarts doing a lot of good work. Well, without much ado, I would request Shahrukh, please address us. We all are really waiting for you. Thank you so much. The story goes on.
Dr. Malvika, can you turn off the screen sharing? Then you'll be able to see us.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Hi, Mala, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, very much.
Hi, Somin. I'm sorry, first of all. One second. Oh, okay, I can see everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you. Namaskar, Assalamu alaikum, and thank you for having me at this conference of iAge. Thank you, Mala. Thank you, Dr. Malvika Sabharwal. And thank you very much, Dr. Krishna Kumar, Dr. Nutan Jain, Dr. Kiran Koilo, if she's around, because I've known her personally for years. And of course, Dr. Vinay, all of you and everybody. And I'm first apologize for having interrupted a session. So I think I'll not take too much of your time. As a matter of fact, I was listening to it and I was getting very turned on by some words. Prognostic factors and pregnancy rates for proximal and distal tubal blocks. Big turn on. I couldn't understand a word. Degree of damage to tubal endothelium, paritubal adhesion, and unilateral or bilateral patency. So just to learn these words, I think first of all, hats off to all of you for not only learning these words, being able to pronounce them and do the stuff that follows this. Sorry, Renu, if I interrupted your session in the middle. And, first of all, I'm extremely grateful, Mala, for having me here. I don't know if I can motivate anyone, but I've understood the work you're doing is, by having, and of course, there's an international faculty. I welcome them all here. The national faculty who's going to be doing operations and people can watch them on video. And all this learning. So for years I've been, working, and some of you are younger than me. Sorry, I'm not trying to pick on anybody's age. So I don't know. Dr. Mala told me that I have to motivate you all. I mean, there's no motivation I can give to someone who's only next to God. I've had a very close association with doctors. Now, it's a profession, very strangely unlike actors. Like Somin said, when an actor is around, you like to meet them. It's not the same with doctors. You don't know if you want to meet the doctor or you don't want to meet the doctor. So it's a kind of a most thankful and most thankless job, I assume. But fortunately, and maybe a bit unfortunately, I've had very close associations with doctors because my parents suffered from diseases. My father had cancer, so I lost him when he was 15. My mother to septicemia and diabetes. And there were some wonderful doctors who took care of them. And even at a time when I could not afford to pay for the treatment. And they all went out of their way. They were the top doctors in Delhi at that point in time. And they really, really gave us hope. And obviously, they tried their best to do what they could and made it as peaceful for them as possible. The diseases still haven't left our families. We still have some. Dr. Coelho knows about that. And I thank everyone from your profession, who completely dedicates their life to looking after others, and being able to do a service, which has to be done only with passion. So there's not much. So there's not much motivation I can give you except tell you that, in my line of work, I've been working as an actor for 30 years now. And, after about 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, and I'm sure it's the same in your profession, when you start as an intern and then you move on, and there's some youngsters who are going to watch all the stuff that iAge is going to present to them. And, it's a great learning process for them. And of course, this technology itself, being able to watch on video and being able to use cameras to see inside the body. It's a little like my profession, but we just see outside the body. Our beauty is only skin deep. Yours goes much deeper. But I know for a fact that, after 10, 15 years of work that I was doing, the only way I could think that I can, become better at my job. We all have limits. I'm sure you guys are all limitless because of the work you do, but I find myself very limited. And it's not being humble. Mala knows I'm not at all modest. But honestly, I think the only way you can learn more is to teach more, is to be able to tell the line of people, the youngsters, or people who are just starting out in the same profession, if they can be imparted the knowledge. To me, the biggest depression in life is that people at the top of their job, sometimes they just become selfish and don't impart that knowledge to people to follow. So I think the work that IAH, through all your endeavors, is doing, is trying to achieve, inshallah, it will be an increase in people understanding the amazing surgeries and this technology. I was trying to read it on Google before I came on, and like I said, I couldn't get past the first 3-4 words itself. But I think being able to give this practical knowledge to all these people who are following suit, I think is one of the greatest service, apart from the greatest service that you do, that you look after human life. And I thank you for it. For me, this is not a motivational talk. For me, this is genuinely a grateful talk to say thank you to all of you and everybody in your profession who's related to you, all the young doctors and the older ones who are retired, who've been doing this service for years. So thank you that you got me here. And as far as any other aspect of life is concerned that I can talk about, I can just tell you that to me, Dr. Coelho, she recently looked after my sister who's been suffering from a disease, and she's always been kind. She's got one of her babies into the world, so I'm ever thankful. I'm just mentioning these names because this is who I've been completely in touch with. Dr. Mala, who's surgical acumen everybody knows about. She's one of the most wonderful and apparently the best at the job that is given to her. But for me, Mala is the party animal, so I like her as that. All these lovely things that she was telling about, that I've achieved so much, I've done so much. She calls me Bacha. So I found it very strange that she's saying all these really nice things about me. So thank you, Mala, for having me here. And Dr. Vinay, who's Mala's husband, he's the one I'm most thankful to, because he puts my mother-in-law's heart at rest whenever she's disturbed with any disease or problem, especially with COVID. So thank you, Dr. Vinay, and all the senior doctors, all the people who've been involved in this process of putting this IH together and taking it all around the world, not just India. So thank you, Dr. Nutan Jain and Krishna Kumarji and everybody. I'm sorry, I don't know everyone by name, but you all look, let me just tell you, you look very handsome and very on screen. So it's nice to see such attractive doctors, all of you. It's always pleasant, when you're lying down under a huge, light shining on your face, ready to get ripped open. And then you have this pleasant eyes looking through the mask, and you feel a sense of confidence. I've had 9 surgeries myself. I've had some titanium put in my neck, I've put some screws and lots of them. So mine is a very regular interaction with doctors, and I hold them in very high esteem. So for me, it's a great honor that I can address you all. And if there's anything that I can do for your organization, Mala, you can call me anytime. And later at night, the better for me, because that's when I'm awake. And thank you for keeping the world healthy. Thank you for giving hope. And just recently, I was, I do a lot of endorsements. Most of the stuff I do, honestly, I try to understand as much as I could, and some of them turn out well, some of them don't turn out so well. Some of them I'm blamed for participating in. Some of them are nice, but it's a job. Somebody's got to do it. And, it's sometimes wrong, morally maybe, but I do it. It's my job. So sorry if any of you have any issues with fair and handsome also, but I do it. But the one I didn't do, and I'd like to say about it, is because just recently I was offered a very big endorsement. They wanted me to take the Hippocratic Oath as part of the endorsement. And I think that's a very big responsibility. I know at times it is considered now an old-fangled idea, but I think all doctors, all surgeons, all health workers, all people who look after people in a manner of, health, have to take that oath and dedicate their lives to the job at hand. And I think someone like me, who is a very dedicated, organized person in his personal life and professional life, is not good enough to say the Hippocratic Oath. And that's why I refused the endorsement. So I just want to reiterate, the fact that one holds you all in the honor that we hold next to God. When it's difficult to find God, and it's difficult to find good doctors also. But somewhere down the line, what IH is doing is making sure that we have enough number of doctors around the country, around the world, and who are going to take not only the health of the country forward, but the name. It's so important. When I travel abroad, I get to hear the best doctors come from India, and it's a moment of pride. It makes you feel extremely, extremely happy that somewhere down the line, our system has been able to evolve into an international level of producing professionals like you all. And you guys are taking this even forward, because I remember when I had my spinal surgery, the doctor was in Chicago, and he said, don't worry, worst case scenario, if I can't come back to London, I'll do it over a video. And for me, that 15 years ago was like, video? This is not going to work. This is going to be so dangerous. But now I'm suddenly understanding how wonderfully all of you have adapted to these technologies. And adapting to a technology is good enough, but being able to spread it far enough so that everybody can have access to that knowledge, I think that is most important. So all I can say is a big thank you for having me over. Sorry for interrupting some of the things that were going on. Some wonderful questions and some details were happening, which I didn't, like I said, I could understand one word of, but I'm sure it's very meaningful. As long as you look after my heart, I don't give a damn what it's called. So in your language. So thank you very much, all of you. And God bless you all. And please continue the good work that you have. And if there's any query that you have from me, I'm there to answer you.
Thank you so much, Shahrukh. That was excellent. And we have just loved it all. And
thank you, Mala. Do you give me 10 on 10?
I give you 20 on 10.
And you'll tell my mother-in-law I'm a good enough son-in-law.
Oh my God, of course I'm going to do that. Of course, Shahrukh, there's no doubt about it. You're absolutely a lovely soul. I could just go on and on about it, the whole family. Vinay, how much he follows you? Your every talk comes to him first. Right from, you don't even know from Pauline, it comes right to him. And then we all get it. And I won't go on about that because there are so many things which Vinay said, don't go haywire and don't just go on getting emotional about it. So I want you to ask you, there are a lot of questions which are being bombarded. Because when I was speaking to Pooja, she said you will answer the questions and the doctor's all ready to ask you some questions. Can you hear me, Shahrukh?
Yes, most certainly.
Okay. And, what I've done is we have absolutely enthusiastic Shivani Sabharwal, you met my daughter-in-law, and Saumil Trivedi, who are right there, who will be putting forward the questions. And they're too excited. They just could not hold themselves back. And right from 4 o'clock, in fact, 3:30 onwards, they've been on tenterhooks and waiting to see you because they're greatest fans of yours. And they are the ones who are going to be putting out the questions to you. They will all be coming from the doctors, from the 2 halls that we have. And anyway, before anything else, I'm going to ask you one question. That what keeps you going on in a crisis?
I'm, how do I say, I'm very reticent and quiet and alone kind of guy. Of course, I love my family, and that's the only time I like to spend with people. So most of the crises are actually exterior. They don't come from any internal place, I believe. And as time changes, different things become important to us. And sometimes I think we give too much weightage to bad moment. And in life, I believe that a good party doesn't last, a good time doesn't last, a good run doesn't last, and everything has to go circular and start all over again. So, when there is a crisis, initially when I was younger, I would get very hassled by it. I would try to, the whole thing used to worry me, and I think some of the injuries I got was because of keeping my mind like that. But now I believe it's an external thing. It's got nothing to do with the interior happiness of my family, the work that I do, and friends that I have. And this too shall pass. So as soon as you kind of, average it out and say, okay, the good times also don't last, but neither do the bad times. I think this becomes a little easier. And worst case scenario, you go to your bathroom, have a good cry, and come out and then move on, I guess. That's all.
Shahrukh, that was excellent, because I think that is something we all need to learn. That is all from within. And it's all, if all stresses are from outside. You said it so beautifully. And well, I'm sure and I've seen you like that. I've seen you through so many phases like that. Now, may I just request Shivani, are you ready with your questions? Because there were so many questions which were being bombarded. Shivani, are you there?
Yes, she's there.
I'm very much there. I'm so dumbstruck right now.
Hi,
Just
Dr.
seeing Mr. Khan on, like, really face to face. Excuse me if I make any mistakes, please. I mean, I'll try my best. I am just so happy and so much awe about you, sir. I mean,
Thank you.
there's just no words coming out right now. It's just such a mixed, overwhelming feeling. Thank you so much for giving happiness, smile to so many people across the world. And right now, believe me, all the gynecologists are on top of the world that you're here. So we have few questions from the audience. I can't take all, but I will try fitting in and the best which I thought. You always were a very good student. You were very good in your studies, in your sports. You were always good, a good orator. That's what we all read and we know about it. How come you thought acting as your profession? You know, it was during that time, nobody thought acting would be the best choice, you know, very unpredictable field. So are you a risk taker or you follow your heart?
No, Shivani, I think, there is a misnomer about success. You know, when you get successful, everything gets romanticized around you. Everybody starts saying, oh, he had vision. Oh, he had, he understood that this is the next big thing. But to be honest, it wasn't like that. I never thought I would be an actor. Even when I became an actor, I never thought I would be such a big star. I think God has been kind. I think people who watch my films have been kind, and mostly the people who've made them have been really wonderful, more than me, and, propped me up. I wanted to be either a scientist or a sportsman. And I was trying to be a sportsman. But at that point in time, I really believed that sports wasn't offered as a great profession for youngsters, but I really wanted to. Then I got an injury in my lower back, and I still remember there was a doctor in, I forget the place, near Firozshah Kotla, Dr. Abbott. He was the best doctor, old name. And then I went to him, and, he kind of said that it'll take me a little while to get back to physical training. And I didn't know what to do. And then Lady Shri Ram College was having a play. And there were 80 ladies in it, and they needed 5 boys. So I thought that was a good opportunity because Gauri was also going to be there. So I said, okay, I'll just go and act there. And they took me in the play, and I only had one line, which should have actually made me realize that I'm not a good enough actor. I had only one line: Annie, I have a letter for you. And I just did that and had fun. Then television came into India. One thing led to the other. I was doing a mass comm masters at Jamia. I finished my economics. I didn't follow science. And then, just one thing led to the other. I came to Mumbai after marrying Gauri. I thought I'll stay here for a year, do 5 films, come back. And it's been 30 years. So really, it's not being visionary or I had the intelligence to do it. I think it's a thing that you learn from life. Sometimes when you have to take a left turn instead of the right one, and if we believe it's not a good one, life has its own way of paying you off. So you need to go full-fledged in it, gung-ho, and say, okay, even if this is not what I wanted to do, I was really sad I couldn't follow sports. At least the path that has been given to me, let me do it to the best of my ability and enjoy it. I think that's the essence of life, that if you enjoy it, it'll pay you back multiple times.
Yeah, great. We all know you're you're a superstar, you're King Khan. But when did you have a feeling that you are a star? When did you get that first feeling that you become a star? I'm sure you would have got that.
I think, I don't know if I'd become a star or not. I still believe I'm not a big enough star. I think I still have some way to go. When you become one of the top people at your profession, which you all realize here because you guys are top notch at your profession, the expectations from you also rise. When people come to you for any kind of ilaj or treatment, I'm assuming they believe the worst of diseases, which you also know sometimes, unfortunately, cannot be treated anymore or have reached a stage where you can't help them with medication. They still believe in you and put that responsibility in your head. Of course, mine is not so high-end or intense, but I think I still feel that if I've been given the responsibility of being called by these monikers, King Khan or SRK or Badshah, I think I still have some 5-10 good films and work to do. I need to take the technology of Indian cinema ahead. If I don't impart what I've learned in these 30 years, it'll be a waste of stardom. So I have a long way to go. But the time I realized I was very popular was I was in a 3-wheeler in Delhi, actually on the Panchsheel Road. And I remember I was sitting and going somewhere. And these 2 ladies who were fighting with the auto driver. And they were screaming, and we were parked at a red light. Suddenly my 3-wheeler came and they looked at me and all their anger vanished and they smiled and they said, "Hey, Abhimanyu Rai," which was my name, Paji. And at that point I realized that even the most angry women, I can smile just by my presence. So I felt, yeah, that's stardom. That's nice. So I felt this was it. If I can bring a smile to people's faces just by my presence, there's something to this job and I better do it well.
You can see
Shivani
everyone
and Malvika.
smiling so widely right now.
I think we'll have to really.
What's the toughest part of being the best?
I think the toughest part of being good at something that you've done day in and day out. See, I do work 12 hours a day, non-stop, except for this COVID period. And I've taken a year off for my kids, for Suhana and Aryan. One was finishing college, one was joining. I think, it's rustiness or just the boredom of doing the same thing every day sets in. So you got to find ways of being excited every morning at the same level that you were 20 years ago. So I think the toughest part of any long-term job, and doctors get into a long-term job. There's never a short-term. You don't become a doctor for a short term. It's for life. I think the toughest part of longevity in any work is to be able to create the newness that you created the first time when you started. The rawness, the passion, the madness, the hope, and the desire to win and get everything done. You should not become laid back and placid about what is happening in life. And I think that's the biggest problem a successful person has. How can I bring back those days of my enthusiasm and somehow be able to once again. I'd gone into once a ZTV television office and I saw this plaque there, which was very interesting. You have to keep asking yourself, when was the last time you did something for the first time? And I think that's what a longevity success requires you to ask yourself. When was the last time you did something for the first time? That's where innovation comes in, reinventing comes in. I think the best way to, most difficult thing is to do something for the first time again and again.
Thank you, Dr. Malvika, and thank you, Dr.
We can see the passion in you even today.
Know that you have,
but there are a lot of people who follow you. You have millions of followers. Who is the one person you follow?
I follow my
motivation.
My mother-in-law.
Wonderful, and thank you so much, Shahrukh Khan. It's a pleasure to have you here.
And the last question I'm going to ask: one quality that makes you stand out. One that makes you stand out.
I don't know. Shivani, I'm very shy, so I don't know. So I like my dimples.
We love your humility and we love the way you carry on with your family. That is the best thing you have. Shahrukh, wherever you are with the family like this.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to break into a bit of a fun element, Shahrukh, if you don't mind. I'm going to do a Karan Johar version of Coffee with Karan, titling it as Tea with Trivedi. So I hope you are up for it. And I would want to ask you a few questions, which are one-liners. Which is your own favorite SRK movie?
The next one.
That's a beautiful answer. Which is the best co-star you have worked with, past and present?
I think I've enjoyed with too many of them. Of course, the great Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. He's really a trove of knowledge, Mr. Nasiruddin Shah. And these are just, I'm speaking technically, some of the ladies I work with, Madhuri, Sridevi, they just Juhi, so much to learn from them because I just started out and I got the opportunity to work with the top stars. And I think many a times, very few people know this, but a lot of the enactment that I do now, was helped out and really taught to me by these ladies. And all of them, all co-actors have been really wonderful. And now, actually the strange part is, and I'm not demeaning the status of co-stars. I think they all have, I'm working in a film now where everybody's new, like in Chak De India. All the people were new. I think that was the greatest learning experience because, like I said, when was the last time you did something for the first time? These fresh girls would do a scene completely different from what I had learned technically. And, I would be able to adapt from them and say, okay, I can do something new. And I think that's why I acted a little better in Chak De than the other films because I could learn from them. So they have been all really, really helpful. And I think, like I said, the main thing is you have to make your favorite everyone. Everyone has to be a favorite. And I'm a bit diplomatic. It has to be because what's the point on spending 200 days with a set of people and then your favorites, 12 hours a day, 100 people, the same people, boys and girls, your men and women you're going to work with. You have to make them your loved ones. So I've been very fortunate to have some really wonderful actors, actresses, directors, producers who've been very helpful and kind.
Thank you, Shahrukh. So the next question I have for you is very intriguing and personal as well. Marriages in India are filled with Shahrukh Khan songs and Shahrukh Khan dialogues, mine being one of them. Which amongst your dialogues do you treasure the most? And it's a humble request from my end, because my favorite dialogue is the Jab Tak Hai Jaan Poya. So just a humble request to say 2 lines about any favorite.
I'll say, see, you guys are showing surgery on video, and if I don't act on video, it'll be really stupid of me. So yes, of course, I'll do it for you. Would you remind me of the lines, please? I say so many romantic lines to so many girls, I forget sometimes.
Teri aankhon ki namkeen mastiyan, teri hasi ki. I have a lot of them in mind, but I'm so sorry. I'm a little.
It's okay. Who just going to remind me? I'll say it for first though for Kiran Koilo. I love you, kaka Kiran. I always say that to her. But for this one, तेरी आंखों की नमकीन मस्तियाँ, तेरी हंसी की बेपरवाह गुस्ताखी, तेरी जुल्फों की लहराती मस्तियाँ, तेरी जुल्फों की लहराती अंगड़ाइयाँ, नहीं भूलूंगा मैं जब तक है जान, जब तक है जान, जब तक है जान.
Thank you so much, Shahrukh. And by the way, I have received a message from Dr. Kiran Koilo thanking you. Unfortunately, I think she is not logged in, or so she has messaged me personally saying, please communicate my thank yous to Shahrukh, and she is listening to the same.
Guys, on that note, sorry, we'll have to end this now because we have to leave for shooting.
No problem.
Let me do the last one, then I'll go, please.
No, sorry. I just wanted, I'm so sorry about that. I just wanted, how difficult has the pandemic been for you, and a message for all the healthcare workers?
Yeah, I think, I think the most difficult it has been, of course, there are families who have suffered. We've had a couple of times cases to close people in our family, Mala knows. And she's been extremely helpful and loving through all this, Dr. Vinay. I think it also made us realize the importance and import of doctors in our lives. And besides that, because I've been going to, obviously, hospitals to get vaccinated, etc. And I find that these health workers, sometimes I speak with them, especially the people who've been at the front line, people who've been at the hospitals, even doctors, round the clock, going on and on and on and on, and just trying to save lives, give hope. I think the most difficult task has been for none of us. When I say none of us, I don't include all of you. You are the guys I think it's been the most difficult for. And I think the world needs to be grateful for having produced such wonderful doctors. And of course, the research that goes on in areas, and I'm sure you all indulge in it and make sure that, these kind of occurrences become minimal or less. But personally, to be honest, like one always, whenever we had to do tests or anyone, one had to just turn to, it was like Ghostbusters. Who do you call? the doctors. So you have to call the doctors. And I think for me personally, it was just having the opportunity to spend time with my family. My son was here, my daughter was here from America, my little one obviously is here, and my wife. So it really, really made me realize that, 30 years over, there is a lot more to life than work. And I'm not being philosophical about it or trying to reduce the importance of work. But I think it just taught me that it was very important for all of us to take a step back, breathe a little, and inhale and exhale a little, and then, happily move at a pace which need not be very hectic. Like I said at the beginning of this address, that if you enjoy life, it gives you back multifolds. And I think it reiterated to me that I need to enjoy life. And I think the enjoyment of life is with your close ones, is with your family, is with your friends. And I think we all need to learn from this COVID that, time spent with people you love the most is most important, because at the end of it all, life is unpredictable. It's there, it's not there tomorrow. And one should not ever feel कि अगर एक मौका और मिलता तो हम अपनों के साथ थोड़ा सा वक्त और गुजार लेते. I think जो भी वक्त है हमारे पास, we are able to do that. And I pray for everyone. I pray for us that this clears out. This becomes an endemic, or if that is the worst case scenario, or something else that just gets completely eradicated in the coming years. So we don't have to worry so much when our children are out, when our families are out, when we are out. And I again want to, would like to end this on telling you how grateful I am to all the doctors that I know. Dr. Mala, Dr. Vinay, all of you, who've been personally attached to our lives and been so helpful. And I'm sure all of you like that have been attached to so many lives and helped so many people, in this last couple of years. So thank you so much at a very personal level for, doing what you do. I think it's way better than what any of us lesser mortals do. So it's a great profession. It's absolutely the most honorable thing a human being can do, is to be a doctor. And I'm extremely grateful that you thought me fit enough. I joke with everyone. I have 5, I think, doctorate degrees. And obviously I don't know how to cure the flu or the common cold, but I'm very, very clear that, just the fact that some people can address me as a doctor in the literature terms is quite an amazing thing. It makes me feel a better person than I am. So thank you for making me feel.
You're amazing.
The president of the association.
That's Dr. Krishan Kumar Shahrukh.
As the president of the association, I sincerely thank Mr. Shahrukh Khan for being for us here, and your presence itself has motivated us all. Thank you for being once again. Thanks, Malvika, for bringing him here. Thank you.
Krishan Kumar, I want to share one more thing. This is the grand, this is just, he used up this pandemic time. Of course, he's a very family person. He used it up to make the best of pizzas, to the extent that the children would dial his number. I'm not joking. He's got a kitchen all set and he's making the best. And he went on and on and on till it turned out to be the best pizza. And the children would give him a call and ask for it rather than the chef. Am I right, Shahrukh?
हाँ, मतलब एक्टर्स की लाइफ ऐसी होती है. कभी पता नहीं कब फिल्म में फ्लॉप हो जाए, रेस्टोरेंट खोलना पड़े. This is plan B.
Shahrukh, you're too good and too witty. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you all of you. Thank you, Somil. Thank you, Shivani. Thank you, everyone who's been on this panel. And once again, apologies for interrupting a session that was going on, Dr. Renu, and everybody who was involved with it. But I'm sorry because I'm shooting nights. So, I have to go and then shoot till 6, 7 in the morning. And I have to wear, you'll be shocked, I'm going to be 56-year-old, but still to look old, I have to wear an old man's makeup. So I have to go and put on prosthetics for the scene.
Great. And thank you so, so much for taking our time. Really.
Thank you.
Tahe dil se.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And Khudafiz to IAGE and everyone who's involved. And, bless you all. Thank you.
Just concluding, I think I would want to say the dialogue of Chak De. ये 30 मिनट हमारे पास से खुदा भी नहीं छीन सकता. So thank you so much. I wish it was 70 minutes, 70 minutes, but wonderful time we had with you, Shahrukh. Thank you so much.
Inshallah. So I'll come again and see you all whenever it's possible. And live, most probably, will be much better.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
God bless.
Thank you.